say I don't know, I don't know.
Let's go, baby.
Now, the Morning Drive.
Buckle up, everybody.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
It's a game changer.
I listen to you guys every single day on my way to work.
Well, again, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on the radio.
You guys are amazing.
What are you doing over there?
I'm going to the top.
The Morning Drive with Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone.
To the bat balls.
Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 live and on the air for this Thursday morning, February 16th, 2023. Mike Bagley here at Daytona International Speedway. Pistol Pete Pistone's back in the Paisan Palace in Chicago. Sammy and Jackson in Studio 134 of the Beltway Bureau in our nation's capital. We welcome each and every one of you to this Thursday morning, and happy blue-green vacation duel at Daytona Day to you, Triple P.
And a happy Friday Eve as well to one and all. Good morning, Bagman. Good morning, everybody. As Daytona Speed Weeks rolls on, and these microphones are getting a workout here, Palomino. I'm telling you, between what's happening there, what's happening here, lots going on. A very busy day yesterday, day and nights, but we roll into the next day of Speed Weeks, and to your point, the blue-green vacation dual races tonight. Look forward to it.
I had one driver tell me yesterday, a driver that I interviewed 3 times yesterday, and he says, I've spent more time with you in this day than I have my family in the last 5 days.
Lot going on. A lot going on
down here.
Well, we had a good day on the channel yesterday. I know we had some new faces and new places. Got a little discombobulation for some folks, but bottom line is, if they were in the Daytona 500 or in NASCAR, you basically heard them here on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio yesterday. It was great. It was a good day for sure, and it ended last night with Alex. So now they're calling him Front Row Bo for winning the pole last night, which is an interesting.
Who is doing that?
I heard Michael Joy utter those words on the broadcast last night. Front Row Bo. I knew you'd like that one. Do you like that one, Sammy?
I don't mind it.
I didn't think Baggy would, and based on your reaction, I think I was right.
Well, when I hear that, I think of Bojangles because it's bow time. Maybe I should use that on Sunday. Well, I get the people at Bojangles all worked up. Here they come, final time down the backstretch. It's bow time. Bowman to the inside for the lead of the Daytona 500.
Well, Front Row Bo is pretty good, I feel like. I don't mind that one.
It's better than Bowman the Showman. I will say if I'm going to rank those, I'll go with that one. That's okay. But anyway, he doesn't care what you call him. He's on the pole again, for crying out loud. What does Bowman care, right?
So I was standing at the car when he got out last night. After he won the pole, I interviewed him for MRN.
Yeah.
And he climbs out. Josh hopped in and did his interview, and then I went after Josh. And but Alex just looked at me. I just said, well, look at this. Again, on the front row. He's like, man, I didn't do anything. I'm like, well, you had to hold it wide open. He says, that's all I did. He says, this is all about them. And he pointed to the team. And I don't know what it is with Speed Weeks qualifying and these Hendrick cars rising to the occasion. For a moment, I thought Chase Briscoe was going to win the pole for the 500. Now, that would have been an upset, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. For 2 reasons. One, because he's not with Hendrick Motorsports, and B, he's not in a Chevrolet, because Chevrolet's won the pole now, 11 straight years. Mm-hmm. Hendrick 8 out of the last 9. So front row is set. Jimmy Johnson and Travis Pastrana are in, so a little of the intrigue for tonight is a little bit away, because we know 2 guys are in and 4 guys are racing for the final 2 spots. But still, it was a good day yesterday. So Brad Gilley and I did the special Wednesday afternoon edition of On Track. So we were on from 5 to 7, and I found like the takeaway from a lot of the listeners was a lot of just people were saying, boy, everybody's really in a good mood listening to people on the channel, right? Well, they're always in a good mood at Daytona 500 Media Day because we haven't started yet. Everybody's usually in a good mood. Did you guys find, you and Danielle, people be in a chipper mood when they came through yesterday morning?
Well, it always is, but you also have to remember that we're getting them when they're fresh, right?
Exactly.
We're getting them when they're coming in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I swung over for MRN Media Day coverage, we got Joey, right? He says, I'm number 1. He says, you're my first stop. He's like, and I think Harvick said that too, or somebody said that too. He's like, you know what? You're doing good by getting me now because I'm not going to be as chipper here in about an hour and a half.
Blaney said that. Blaney said that for us as well. And we also noticed that we played Pete, I'm so excited by the Pointer Sisters at 8 a.m. Zane Smith jokingly said that he was excited, but there was not many other people walking around saying, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. Mm-hmm. The answers we got yesterday seemed to be a lot more not generic, just filler stuff and thought out actual, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to go, this is what's going on. It was one of the better media days that I can remember, in my opinion.
Yeah, I listened to most of all of it. I 1 hour, I recorded a baseball preview show for the Big Ten channel, but for the most part, I listen all day here on the channel. I think the excited stuff, when we used to keep score baggy, I think that happened more when we had the media tour in January in Charlotte, right? That was the excited. We used to keep a score tab. When you got down to Daytona, that's good. I mean, I think people, I agree with you, Sammy. I heard a lot of things. We had some news yesterday, contract extensions. I mean, overall, I thought it was a really good media day down there. NASCAR and everybody did a really good job coordinating all that.
Now, I were qualifying last night, had a chance to go through the garage and visit with some folks yesterday. The one that I feel for the most is Connor Daly. Yeah. So that's the New York racing team. Before I suited up to go out to pit road, I did a lap around the garage, and the 50 car is sitting there basically torn apart. I mean, the under tray, everything is just, they had an oil heater that triggered an arc that put a pin-sized hole in the oil line. Well, those are custom lines. Nobody had one on the property. Yeah. And, well, they had them, but they're inside the backup car. But to get to it, you got to take the car apart to get it. And Tony Uri Jr. is the one that's quarterbacking that whole thing over there, which, by the way, he is looking more and more like his father. I mean, you give him a beard, and that's Tony Sr. 2.0 right there. He's standing there, and he was very accommodating. And he says, there was a guy, as I'm standing there talking to him, there was a guy on the team that basically was getting ready to get in a rental car to drive to Charlotte to get this hose to come back overnight and get down here to get it installed in the car, tech the car, and get it into the dual race tonight. That's what they're left with. That's the only option. And I don't know, when I left them, they were thinking about doing that. I don't know if my man's on the road. Imagine that, having to drive basically,
get going,
18 hours round trip for one hose, but you can't get them anywhere because it's a custom part. And nobody had one on the property. The one that they had came from RCR, but it's that short in that oil heater that malfunctioned.
What they could do is just have someone get the part in North Carolina. You meet in the middle, and then
everybody they have is at Daytona. They don't have anybody to meet them halfway. No. That's the problem.
You're telling me not one person's got keys. They can't be like, all right, video it. Go to bin B up here at that one right there. Grab it. Get in the car. We're gonna meet you at I-95 in Jacksonville.
No.
Just gonna.
You don't understand, Sammy. They don't have the backup part to go to the bin to get.
Oh no.
Going to Charlotte, they would have to go somewhere else to get this part. And because, listen, this is a team that has no backup cars. They got no backup. This is what they have. They brought everything. They don't have a backup. They don't have plan B or that safety net. So you've got to find somebody in Charlotte to get the hose because it's got to have stainless steel tips. That's part of the whole custom piece. They could have found another one, but they would have failed inspection because it didn't have the ends on that it needed. So to get this, you got to find somebody in Charlotte that has it, go get it, and then bring it back. They have nobody to meet them halfway.
That's wild.
You're telling me
that was the story last night.
In all of Daytona, in all of Tuscany, there's not another house?
Pete, they were calling sports car shops, and they don't have them.
That's a small team. That's the problem with that. I mean, it's a great story. It's a great story, but when something goes haywire, literally, you scramble. So they're going to have to try to race their way in there tonight. One of the four drivers that are going to try to get the other two spots.
If they're able to do this, and look, to them making the race would be like winning the race.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Because now what you have to do is they have no time to fall back on. So if they're able to get the car put together and get it on the racetrack, Connor is going to have to race his way forward and into the 500. So if they're able to do all that, to me, that is a win in itself. Just getting the car in the show. And I visited with Connor last night off air, and he's heartbroken. Just absolutely heartbroken. But I got thinking about it, and this is where going forward, maybe we can talk about this a little later on. I hope, not just for Connor, but talking to a lot of crew chiefs, they just want just a little bit of time before practice.
They
don't have to have 2 hours.
Agreed.
But give them 30 minutes. Yeah. Give them enough just to go out and just make sure nothing's coming off, nothing's again, rubbing, dripping, or dragging.
Bingo. Yep.
But
no, I agree with that.
Just and even Jeff on the grid last night was just give us hot laps like we do in sprint cars. Just give us something, and maybe that's something that the sanctioning body will consider. We'll ask Elton Sawyer about it next week. Maybe going forward, could the teams be allowed this?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, the first car out had issues too last night as well. Chandler Smith. So, and Tony and Clint on the broadcast last night were pretty much echoing exactly what you said. Just don't need 2 hours of practice, but let's 30 minutes, shake it down, and maybe some of this would be alleviated. We'll see how the schedule turns out next year. What else last night? Saw you on TV a couple of times, Baggy, standing down there. Shelly looked up. She's like, "Is that Mike? Oh my God, look at him." I said, "What do you mean? He's been up since 5 this morning." No. I'm not saying he looks tired. I'm saying look how skinny he is. I go, yeah, well, Bagman.
Okay, so everybody like in Daniel's picture and all this stuff.
Yeah, you're svelte. You're svelte.
Okay, but I've been this size for like almost 2 years now, and
maybe you're hanging around more heavy people these days, and you look. It really looks like you're thin. I don't know.
He ain't heavy. He's my baggy.
He ain't heavy.
Okay, snip yourself right there because I think that's a drop we could reap. He's not heavy. He's my baggy.
Let's see what else yesterday. Kyle, what? So have you had time? So you had no time for anything yesterday. I was going to say, did you go graze? Of course not. You had to go back. Did you even leave the racetrack at all yesterday?
No, I did not. Okay, so here's what happened. So I got off the air with TMD at 11. And then I grabbed a quick bite of lunch upstairs and then came back down. And then I did MRN media days from 12:30 to 2:30. Mm-hmm. Well, there was that gap of time that I got off the air at 2:30 and then we went on the air at 8 last night. And they're like, "You going back to the hotel?" I'm like, "Dude, if I go back to the hotel, I'm not making it back to this racetrack." Yes, exactly. So
that's the snip I'm doing.
That's the snip you're looking for. Oh, snip us. So I go, and you know what? I love people, okay? But
okay, Oprah, I love people and bread.
So our where we park is in the International over here on the road course, right? So I go to the car, turn it on, get the air conditioning just right, put the seat back. Let me take a nap. Well, I'm laying there actually, and all of a sudden I hear on the window, and I'm like, and it kind of jars me.
Security?
Well, it's this man and woman that are standing there. And I roll the window down. Yes. May I help you? Bagman? Yes. Oh, my goodness. We listen to you and Pete all the time. Would you mind if I could get a picture?
Wait a minute. While you were sleeping in the car?
In the car. And I'm like, and I said, well, can I get out of the car to take the picture? And
no, stay in. I got to roll my window back up.
I'm like, and I don't know. That has got to be the most tore up picture because I was dead. I mean, I was asleep. I thought I was dreaming that I heard So I get up, I take the picture, and then the conversation wanted to ensue, and I'm just like, okay, I really want to go back to sleep right now. Sure. And thank you so much. We appreciate you listening. Mm-hmm. Hope you have a great time in Daytona. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. And then I got back in and resumed a 10-minute portion of the nap. I still had about an hour allotted left to go, but I just got up, went on here, and started doing some work and all that stuff. But I've never been woke up at a track from a nap for a picture before. But, hey, you know what?
It's flattering.
Salud. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I'll say this. Doing the show with Brad yesterday, we had a lot of people call in. We appreciate that. Complimentary to you and I, what we do in the morning. But, again, the whole channel I thought sounded really good yesterday. And we nailed it yesterday here on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Bagman.
Here is something that is different than it's never been like this since I've been coming down here. And, Pete, I know it's not been like this since you've been coming down here. This infield is packed already. Yeah. Like Tuesday or I don't know.
Today's Thursday.
Okay, so when I came in the track yesterday for Media Day, you know how normally that turns 1 and 2 when you come off in that tunnel, in turn 1 tunnel, how it's kind of scarce. You got a motorhome here or there, and then the infield portion is just wide open, right? It's just nobody there. Son, you can't see a blade of grass. This morning, 5:20, I'm coming in the tunnel. And as I come up out of the tunnel, I look over. and you've got 4 ladies sitting out there in front of their motorhome, and they're hammered down. And I can't believe it's starting. I think it's a carryover from last night.
That's a carryover.
The ladies were still taped up and on a qualifying run from last. Qualifying ended about 8 hours ago, right? I mean,
now wait a minute. Now I heard from Patty from Michigan yesterday with Brad and I, and she says he's down there with the ladies. Was it Patty in the crew?
No, it wasn't Patty.
Okay,
No.
All right,
I know what Patty looks like. I've met Patty before. That was not Patty. She was probably having her own party on the other side of town. I'm like, on a Thursday morning, you're still digging at 5:25 in the morning?
Hey.
Look at him go.
Yeah.
And then when you wind your way around and you go up the gut, right? You go, I call it Main Street, right up the middle of the infield. Oh, son. I have never seen this place so packed so early in a speedway, because normally it starts trickling in today.
Yeah,
Like
right.
people will start coming in today, tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever. Oh, no. We'll get some more in here, but by the time we get to Sunday, we will not be able to shoehorn another human in this infield. We are at capacity already, which is awesome. It's spectacular.
Well, those ladies were actually practicing. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, just 5 in the morning. They just decided to go that way.
5:25 in the morning. What is 12 hours ahead of us?
17.
England is 6.
England's 5. I think
5.
It's, my brother's actually in Japan. I believe it is
Japan?
Japan's 13.
What about Australia, Sammy? Aren't they way ahead of us
Tokyo
too?
time is it's 9:16 p.m. in Tokyo, so they're
14.
14.
Sydney
Wow.
time. Sydney time is 11:16.
Okay.
Let's see, Beijing time.
Okay.
8:16 in Beijing.
Well, we're thinking about our brothers and sisters in Japan and Australia this morning. Bottoms up, everybody.
And you can listen on the SXM app. It's free for all of our trials and popular plans.
No. It's not free for our trials.
Oh,
It's
available.
included with our trials and popular
I hope Steve Cohn didn't hear me say that. I'm screwed. Free.
That's 7:15 in the morning. I don't think we have.
Free. What did that guy say? Did he say free?
I don't think the boss is up this
No.
early.
You sure the boss wasn't out there with those ladies at 5 o'clock this
No,
morning when you rolled in?
no. Oh, listen, he can hang with them now. There ain't no doubt about that.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Well, again, we missed the big Skinner dinner last night. I know you were working. I saw some pictures from Mike and Angie's last night. Danielle was over there. Davey was over there. Moody was over there. El Supremo. Dom. Baggy's out there working, and there they are, living it up. Not that far away. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
I was thinking about him, too.
Sure.
I hope y'all don't choke on that Camus over there.
Well, the picture I saw, it was missing the pile of empty bottles next to them, but you sort of got the idea when you saw the picture that I got texted last night.
Well, they brought in the recycled dumpster. All right, let's put the glass over there. Let's
Boop, boop. Put it right there.
fill it up.
Okay, I finally found one. Jakarta is 7:17 p.m. right now. So Jakarta in Indonesia is on the same is in the same
All right.
time zone that we are.
Well,
Sorry.
maybe they're channeling their inner Jakarta drinking habits over there in turn 1. Get in there, ladies. And if you're listening, top of the morning. I may need a cocktail before this day is over. Save a little room for Baggy.
Jakarta. Okay. Good morning.
Coming up, bottom of the hour, give you a headline check number 1. This morning, you heard from all the Cup guys yesterday. We'll talk to some Xfinity and some truck guys today as we get ready for their season openers tomorrow and Saturday. Joining us at 8:30, we're going to talk to Jack Wood. He's driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports in his Chevrolet. Matter of fact, Jack and Kyle are going to split the driving duties in the 51 truck. Jack will join us at 8:30. Got the calendar coming up at 8:50. Coming up at 9, buckle up, kids. We're going to get in touch with our brother from another mother in Spartanburg, South Carolina, Jeremy Clements, coming up at 9 this morning. Also, Spencer Boyd is going to join us. He drives the number 12. He drives the number 12 Young's Motorsports Chevrolet. He'll join us at 10. And we'll visit with Sam Mayer, getting ready to buckle up again for Junior Motorsports in the number 1 Chevy Camaro. We're going to take your telephone calls. Going to kind of review what happened yesterday, get your thoughts on what you heard on the channel, what you saw and heard last night in qualifying. And we can do that at 866-BIT-LANE. You can also tweet us at SiriusXM NASCAR, hashtag TMD NASCAR. TMD brought to you in part by our friends at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. The NASCAR Hall of Fame is the home of legends, where you can explore the past, present, and future of the sport we all love. Plan your next visit at NASCARHall.com.